think it was a good
last
name.
So my mom and dad were both Christian, are still Christian, and I was raised in a Christian home. As a kid, I went to a church called UBC, and I wasn't funny. And me and a Sunday school teacher, I'm not really remembering her name. So,
Mrs. or Mr.?
I think it was Miss Toon, actually.
If it's a girl,
and so,
are you joking me?
Me and Miss Toon, we were pretty close, and we had, and she kind of taught me the basis of my knowledge for Christ, but I still didn't really know my identity with Him and what I was called to do. And then, at a young age, my brother and sister and my whole family switched to a church called Fellowship, and I really struggled with, like, why God wanted me there, and I really didn't want to go to that church anymore, and so I would go to, like, Central United Methodist, and because I really didn't, I didn't want to go to Fellowship.
I didn't go there until, like,
and, so I just kind of kept going through that, and I met, I got to meet all my other cell group leaders, but going to Fellowship was really a blessing. It turned out later on after I went to a camp called New Life Ranch, and
I went.
it was a year with like Jackson and them, and we were all in a separate. Me and like 3 other guys got put in a separate cabin than all the other Fayetteville people, and we were kind of confused by that at first. But we got put with a leader named Luke Peterman, and Mr. Luke was one of the coolest guys I've met, and he was I kind of was starting to kind of feel something with Christ that week, and one of the last things they do on their night, and like one of the last nights at New Life, is the leaders tell their testimonies, and Luke's was just like awful. Like his parents died, one of his parents died, his dad was just a alcoholic and a smoker, and like he stayed with his uncle, and it was just like a really terrible deal for him, and I saw that he stayed with like Christ, and that was bringing him like that peace and that joy, and like giving him this calling of what he wanted to do. And I saw like the way that he lived his life, and it really kind of inspired me. And then we had another guy who was he wasn't a leader with us, he was a janitor at New Life, and he, when he was born, would he would go blind in one eye and be able to see in the other, and it would switch. And he had like a passion and a love for sports, and he could never do it because of his eyes. And the doctors said that it wouldn't be possible for like him to heal that. And in college, a doctor came up and figured out a surgery for him to be able to see with both eyes. And so that just kind of taught me like the miracle, and anything is possible with God. And so I kind of like knew in my mind I accepted Christ at New Life that week, and I didn't really tell anyone, which I felt like is a mistake now, but I went back home, and after baseball practice I just broke down crying, and my dad was like, what's wrong, and I told him then, and he me and him went upstairs and we read the book of Romans, some chapters in that, and that just kind of is where I accepted Christ. And then after that, I still was a little bit iffy on what I was to do after I accepted him. And with Fellowship, I met a guy named Finley, and he is another one of the just coolest guys you'd ever meet. And we were able to go to like chill out and all these retreats and stuff, and he just kept investing in me with Andrew and Will and everyone. There's all these cell group leaders that have like left me, and they've poured into me, and like it's always just been like Fellowship has always just kind of been like that one place, like with Finley and like being able to be there, that I've always had just like a place that I can always go to. And Finley baptized me, I think it was a year or 2 ago, and that was kind of what my testimony was, and I've just been changed after that, and I've been able to go to like Jesus and ask him what he wants me to do with my life, and like be able to turn to him and have.
That's awesome, man.